Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to race number 16 of the third season of the DRL Red Bull GT Series. After today's race, we only have 7 more races left to go until we crown our champions for the Red Bull GT Series. We're definitely looking forward to that, and should be excited for today's race. E Aurora starts on the pole position for today's race here at Pocono, as we're going to have 40 laps of racing here today. It's going to be borderline to see if these drivers will make it 40 laps on one tank of fuel, but we will have to wait and see what happens. E Aurora, last time out 2 weeks ago, she is 5th in the points and is the rookie points leader. And alongside of her is Luis Hernandez in the 20. Emma Kaiser in run number 2. Luis Hernandez not eligible for the championship, 38th in points, came in late in the season. Emma Kaiser, 32nd in points, just trying to find something to finish off her season. And alongside is Jackson Harrison. He is dead last in points of the drivers that have run every race this season, with Anthony Finelli running out your top 5. Reagan Whitlock is making his debut. Same with Cody Goforth as you look at the rest of the starting lineup. Goforth will start from the 35th position. Let's get these cars going for 40 laps of racing. Some of these drivers were up. Hold on. As the field's now rolling off. Just had Gorgo home qualifying here this morning, here at the Pocono Mountains, as the field is behind the pace car. Let's go over the point standings presented by Golden Corral. T Noguera is the points leader by 15 points over Kyler Anderson. W Parrish gained 4 spots up to 3rd in the standings. T Mauser dropped down the spot to 4th in the standings. He has 31 points back. 32 back is our pole sitter and rookie points leaders. We mentioned E Aurora. Carlos Rodriguez is 2nd in the Rookie of the Year standings, 2 points back of E Aurora, and 6th in the standings. 7th in the standings is Chaz Former, 40 points back, and then we have a tie for 8th, which is Bradley Reim, Courtney Lynn, and Zachary Fitzwater that round out the top 10. The only catch is that Reim and Lynn have been to victory lane, whereas Fitzwater has not. "40 laps here today. Some of these drivers that are racing in this series also taking part in tomorrow's Oreo Cup Series race. This is a 40-lap event. The Oreo Cup Series will be 50 laps tomorrow. Hope you'll join us for that. Another 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time race. And those that were in Go home qualifying earlier this morning have had 15 minutes on track, getting not only trying to make the race for tomorrow, but also what did they learn in that 15-minute session that they can apply into this race here today. We're going to find that out in just a second. As the pace car is off, getting ready for race number 16 of the Oreo Cup Series, and we are green from Pocono. Emma Kaiser going to try to take the lead from E Aurora as we're down the Long Pond straightaway. This track has 3 different turns, 3 different straightaways, and this is the only triangle that we go to on the calendar. As rookie Anthony Finelli, currently the race leader, as we come off turn number 4, he will lead the first lap of this race. It was 98 degrees for Oreo Cup Series go or go home qualifying. It is a perfect 67 degrees. So the track temperature has come a lot down, because we had that massive cold front that come through in between Oreo Cup Series go home qualifying and this race. So the track temperature has dropped a good 30-something degrees. And it's not as slick as it was this morning in go home qualifying. It was like, there goes Cervantes. Upside down, going to collect the number of drivers, and the caution is out just like that. I was also going to mention it was sunny this morning, and the sun's been beaming down this racetrack, and our first caution of the race is out. We're going to have a lot of drivers involved in this one. Pace car's out. Jackson Harrison, it's been a rough year for him. His race is done. That was the car I saw that got flipped over. That was Ricky Cervantes. Was anybody else involved in this besides the two that we just saw on pit road? Trinity Lee back here at the rear of the field. Same with the points leader, T Noguera. Looks like the answer is no. Everybody's stacking up a bit, trying to get organized and in the line. So the caution is out for the first time today here at Pocono. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened here in the early stages of the Red Bull GT Series race. You kind of figured with the slick conditions here today, these drivers were going to have trouble with grip. It looks like Jackson Harrison and Cervantes got together. And there was another car involved. Looked like that was Skylar Taylor that got up in the wall. J Ard did a little wheel hop. Isaac Willis got a piece of it, and that was, I believe, the Skylar Taylor machine. As look at the 04 just goes flipping side over side, end over end. That was probably a scary ride. That is almost reminiscent of what happened to one of my drivers, but thankfully landed on all four wheels. That's a tough break for Cervantes. Jackson Harrison's had a tough season, dead last in points of the drivers that have run every race this season. And how we only got away with a 2-car incident, I'm kind of amazed, because normally when you get into an incident off of turn 2, it would have collected 15-20 drivers, and how we only got 2 cars involved, I don't know. And also damage to Skylar Taylor's car. So the caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at Pocono. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 7 of 40. Give us a total of 34 laps of racing to go. Here's the top 10 rundown. Nathan Murphy is the leader. Reagan Whitlock in second. Geisha Racing in third. Will Parrish in fourth. Bradley Ream fifth. Trinity Lee sixth. Seventh, Sebastian Palmer. Anthony Finelli eighth. Ninth, Henrietta Fitzwater and Kyler Anderson 10th. Lane Aurora's 11th. Luis Hernandez 12th. Jared Johnson 13th. Summer Wagner 14th. She will be leaving this series at the end of the season. Andrew Williams 15th. J Ard 16th. Dylan Van Dyke 17th. Carlos Rodriguez 18th. Cody Goforth 19th with Takasumi Takashi in 20th. 21st, Emma Kaiser. 22nd, Ari Springer. 23rd, Kyle England. 24th, Maddie Crenshaw with Annie Crenshaw in 25th, her younger sister. Salman Oskin, 26th. Courtney Lynn, 27th. Cody Smart, 28th. Josh Harmon, 29th. And Addison Peterson, the reigning series champion, in 30th. 31st, Zachary Fitzwater. 32nd, Ingrid Pollard. Skylar Taylor, 33rd. Had to come to pit road to repair the right side damage on her Corvette. T Mauser, 34th. Brooke Packett, 35th. Chaz Farmer, 36th. 37th, Logan Williams. 38th, Tatiana Noguera. Sean Art is 39th, and Isaac Willis in 40th. Right now, drivers out after that incident are the two drivers that were involved. They were Jackson Harrison and Ricky Cervantes. Everybody did come to pit road while we were looking at a replay, and Nathan Murphy's team got him out first. So it does not look like fuel is going to be an issue the rest of the way. The question is going to be whether or not tires are going to be a big factor in this race. We'll have to wait and see. Green flag back in the air on lap number 7 for Nathan Murphy. It's now a single file restart. Some of the drivers were passing to the right, which is legal because we didn't have any lap cars. The restart was single file, so a lot better scenario there. As Reagan Whitlock is now the race leader. Reagan Whitlock, a former Oreo Cup Series driver. He drove the number 21 Angry Birds Ford Fusion in the Oreo Cup Series. He made the playoffs that season. Sadly got eliminated after the round of 12. Finished that season 12th in the points. Hoping to have a good season, have a good part-time season before he goes full-time in this series in season 4. We raced here last season. This is the second time we've raced here at Pocono. Last season we did race here. The defending winner of this event is actually in this field, the 66 of Addison Peterson, who took the checker flag. Of course, that race was at night. This race is a day race. Had somebody go up in the wall in the back, but we kept it going, so no harm, no foul. Oh, Anthony Finelli's in the wall. And he just got hit by Kaiser, and there they go, wrecking on the front straightaway. It's going to be a big wreck. Kyle Langland's in it. J Ard's in it. Fitzwater got a piece of it. Ingrid Pollard, Skylar Taylor again. Tatiana Noguera, the points leader, having a square dance with Ingrid Pollard. That's a bit weird. And the caution is out for the second time today. Leaders were already past the start-finish line. I don't know if Anthony Finelli was coming to pit road because he was up in the wall when we went to see him. And when he did, he and I think that was Kaiser that got together and it caused that big wreck on the front straightaway. These two better get going or they're going to... As the caution's out, first time we've had a wreck on the front straightaway. But my, oh my. Courtney Lynn got a piece of it. And she's limping. There's Skylar Taylor, Maddie Crenshaw, Kyle Langland. There's going to be a lot of drivers maybe out of this race. That was the car I saw got up in the wall, Anthony Finelli. I don't know why, unless he got way up high, and that was the car that initiated the contact. As everybody is checking up for the caution here. Reagan Whitlock leads. Our second caution of the race is out. Let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what happened. All right, here's what happened. As we come into turn number 3 here, it's like Anthony Finelli just got it way too high. And, of course, he got out of the grate, got up in the marbles, and there is no grip up there. And he goes up and gets the outside retaining wall. He was running 7th at the time of this incident. I noticed some skid marks there. We'll have to dive deeper in to find out where those came from. And it looks like, I'm not sure what he's doing here. I mean, he's going so slow, and yep, Kaiser's the one that ran into the back of the 64. Ooh, who was that? That was one of the Mustangs that got a piece of it. I think that was Cody Smart in the 11. Yes, it was. And it just caused a traffic jam. Look at how many cars were involved. Looks like half a dozen race cars involved. Isaac Willis almost flipped Kyle Langland upside down. Who is that just snuck through there? That was Chaz Farmer did a good job missing that. J Ard, a lot of damage to his car. The good news is J Ard wrecked the field. The bad news is J Ard got collected in his own carnage, if you ask me. And there's the points leader, Tatiana Noguera. Of course, she was struggling trying to get her car going in the right direction. Same with Ingrid Pollard. And that is the driver who comes into this race as the points leader, Tatiana Noguera. And this was not what she needed. And the thing is, the guy that's trying to run her down for the points lead is doing a lot better. That would be Kyler Anderson, as they just crossed the line backwards in a weird way. So the caution's out for the second time today. This is probably one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen on this channel, but nevertheless, we're going to get to the first of all, we're going to investigate those skid marks in turn number 3 before we go back to green. So apparently we didn't see this one right here. Now we figured out where the skid marks came from. This is back in our first caution. J Ard's up here. Look at how many wide they are. And that was, I think, Chaz Farmer got into an incident. There's J Ard into the wall. That was Isaac Willis who got turned by Brooke Packett. So that would explain where the skid marks came from. I didn't realize J Ard was involved. And look how many cars were there, 4 or 5 wide. So this was like back on lap number 2. So that would explain why Isaac Willis was at the rear of the field along with Sean, is because of the skid marks. So the caution is out, as I said, for the second time today, as you found out where the skid marks came from. Let's get to the restart here at Pocono. Green flag going to come back out on lap number 14 of 40. Would give us a total. We're not even at the midway point of this race, oh, by the way. Will give us a total of 26 to go when we go back to green. Reagan Whitlock, the leader. Bradley Reim, second. Sebastian Palmer, third. Gaethje Racing, fourth. Trinity Lee, fifth. Henrietta Fitzwater, sixth. Luis Hernandez, seventh. Nathan Murphy, Elena Aurora, and Jared Johnson will complete your top 10. Surprisingly, only one driver out of the race. That would be J Ard after he was collected in that little melee on the front straightaway. But everybody else that was involved have continued on in that incident. J Ard, 27th in points, did not need that poor finish, if you ask me. Jackson Harrison, excuse me there for the belch, by the way. Jackson Harrison not doing his, well, he's had a rough year. Like I said, dead last in points of the drivers that have run every race this season, so he'll more than likely stay dead last in the points of the full-time drivers, if you know what I mean. And of course, who am I thinking? Oh, Cervantes is not in the championship hunt, so it doesn't make a difference on him. We talked about Tatiana Noguera's struggles. The guy that was trying to run her down for the points lead is running 11th. That would be Kyler Anderson. And he was 15 points back of Tatiana Noguera for the points lead coming into this race. So we're going to have to see where this is going to situate those drivers heading into next week at Charlotte. As we're back to green here at Pocono. Hopefully we can get a green flag run going, if you know what I mean. As here comes Bradley Reim. This is, whoa! Bradley just got a little bit too much speed, and he knocked Reagan Whitlock up high, and that's going to hurt Reagan Whitlock's momentum. Bradley Reim got carried a little too much speed, and that's why he got into Reagan Whitlock. Oh, Gaethje Racing squirrely there. Careful, drivers. Will Parrish up in the wall. Addison Peterson up in the wall. And we finally got a green flag lap in. Trinity Lee now takes the lead here at Pocono Raceway. Trinity Lee gained 4 spots up to 26th in the points table. Fitzwater in third. Jared Johnson up in the wall. Got Dylan Van Dyke, but everybody scatters, but we keep it together. Jared Johnson's got some damage to the car, unfortunately. And he's going to drop well down through the running order. He's going to drop all the way back to 19th, lost 8 positions doing so. And all those cars that were involved in that second caution is already off the pace, especially when the fact that this is an aerodynamic racetrack. And if you get damage, whether it's on the front, rear, and all that, that's not going to do aerodynamics any bit of good. As we look at Kyler Anderson, as I said, he's the one that comes in this race second in the points. We also saw Carlos Rodriguez just a second ago. He came in this race second in the Rookie of the Year standings. There he is, running in the 18th position. The gal he's trying to run down for the rookie points lead, running in 9th. That would be Elena Aurora. There she is up front. As things stands, Elena Aurora would keep the Rookie of the Year points lead heading into next week at Charlotte. But Kyler Anderson, as things stand, would take the points lead heading into Charlotte next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll join us for that, our first race for the month of February. Henrietta Fitzwater leading Nathan Murphy, Trinity Lee, and Sebastian Palmer. Bradley Reim now 5th. Kyler Anderson 6th. Gage Racing 7th. Elena Aurora 8th. 9th, Luis Hernandez. And 10th is now Kasumi Takashi, who's trying to get around Ari Springer. Ari Springer doing double duty this weekend. Going to run the Oreo Cup Series race tomorrow. Geisha Racing also going to run also going to be in the Oreo Cup race tomorrow. Those two race their way into tomorrow's Oreo Cup Series race via the Go or Go Home qualifying session. They've had 15 minutes on the track just before this race began, so they've had a chance to use the restroom, debrief with their crew chiefs in the Oreo Cup Series before the drivers' meeting for the Red Bull GT Series. And all these drivers that are taking part in the Oreo Cup Series race like Bradley Reim, Brooke Packett, Kyler Anderson, this is a good test for them going into tomorrow when we're going to have fuel mileage coming into play as we bring you our live coverage of race number 8. Or is it race number 9? I think it's race number 9. Let me go double check so I'm not derping. And indeed, it is race number 9. Because remember, we just had the Oreo Cup Series only last week when they raced at Homestead Miami Speedway. And that was a fuel mileage strategy that was won by Baby CJ, which we will see Baby CJ tomorrow in the Oreo Cup Series race. There's Elena Aurora. Was announced she is going to drive the number 84. Going to run the Advent Health Colors for Legacy Motor Club, starting at Michigan in a couple of weeks for the Oreo Cup Series. Apologies for the frames freezing up. Not sure why it did that. I do apologize about that, folks. Just remember, I just had my computer. I just rebooted my own computer to get my Windows updated. So if you see a little bit of freezing here and there, I do apologize for that. As we are now halfway home. And all these drivers that are in the Oreo Cup Series race, they'll head back to their motor coach. I'll go hit go have a shower, have dinner, debrief what they learned today. That will help them for tomorrow's Oreo Cup Series race. And they're going to have a very longer race tomorrow, going to be 50 laps instead of 40, which means an extra 10 laps, which says to me, if this thing does go into a long green flag run, could fuel mileage come into play like it was at Homestead last week? And I bet you if you're Skylar Taylor, you better not have another incident with one of your drivers like what we had in the Oreo Cup race last week at Homestead. If you look at Dylan Van Dyke, there's Will Parrish in the 17th position. Brooke Packett, Salman Ozkan, those two will be in the Oreo Cup race tomorrow. Jesse Art's also going to be in the Oreo Cup race tomorrow. And unlike the Red Bull GT Series, as you look at Addison Peterson, she'll go full-time in the Oreo Cup Series next season. Cody Smart, Daytona 500 winner in the Oreo Cup Series this season. Taylor, of course, remember last week at Homestead, Skylar Taylor and Josh Harmon got together at Homestead, and it took out a half a dozen race cars involved. There's Anthony Finelli, Isaac Willis running in 36, Zachary Fitzwater in 37th. There's Courtney Lynn. Not entirely sure what's wrong with Courtney Lynn unless she was involved in that big incident. Looks like she was. Well, at least Courtney Lynn has the Oreo Cup race tomorrow to look forward to. While Nathan Murphy continues to lead, we're going to step away for a commercial break. And on the other side of the break, more Red Bull GT Series racing here at Pocono. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back to the DRL Red Bull GT Series race here at Pocono Raceway. With 15 laps of racing to go, I had to go get my charger from another room so I can bring it up here to the booth to charge my phone. Daniel Voles here at Long Pond, Pennsylvania, here at Pocono Raceway. Luke Knight, our producer and engineer, back in our WRA DRL and Blue Hedgehog studios at 50 Penn Place. Nathan Murphy, still your race leader here in the Red Bull GT Series, race number 16. We have 7 more races left to go in the DRL Red Bull GT Series for 2020 for this season, for season 3 rather. A couple of drivers that were running well in points like Courtney Lynn going to take a hit. So is possibly Tatiana Guerra because she was your points leader entering this race. Nathan Murphy, 22nd in points, looking for his second win of his career and second on the season. Trinity Lee looking for her first win on the season. Let's give you our motorsports calendar, tell you what's coming up. Of course, as I talked about earlier in this race, tomorrow, as I do not know what happened to my bottle of pop. Oh, it's right here. It's right behind me. I'm going to put it right here. So tomorrow, we have the Pocono race for the Oreo Cup Series at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll join us for that. Next week, these Red Bull GT Series drivers will head to Charlotte Motor Speedway, be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time race. The next Wednesday, we are off to Germany for the Oreo Cup Series. There is only going to be 37 drivers, which we will see Liliana Beta in that race, where she was supposed to make her Oreo Cup Series debut a couple of weeks ago back at New Hampshire, but had her time disallowed after failing post-qualifying inspection. So she's going to be the only open driver that will be racing next week in Germany. Looking forward to that. So we're going to go from USA to Germany. A lot of fun races we got coming up on the schedule to finish off the Red Bull GT Series and the continuation of the Oreo Cup Series. Of course, we have Charlotte next week. The following week, we head to the track we were just at last week, Homestead Miami Speedway. That will be a 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time race. Then we got Papyrus, Daytona, Loudon, Rockingham, North Carolina, and Phoenix to finish up the season for the Red Bull GT Series. Once that season's done, the Oreo Cup Series will go straight to the Mondays for the remainder of that series. Hope you'll join us for all the races we got coming up left in the Red Bull GT Series, as well as the Oreo Cup Series. And Courtney Lynn has blown up. And Courtney Lynn's day, sadly, is going to come to a disappointing end. She was running 38th at the time of the incident. Kyle Langland just went a lap down while we were in break. And Courtney Lynn is going to take her car to the garage. Her day is going to come to a disappointing end. That's a tough break for Courtney. So a bad day just got worse for Courtney Lynn. And of course, she came this race running very well in the points. So this is going to be a huge blow to her championship. Well, even though, to her championship. She's also running well over in the Oreo Cup Series, so she learned something today. Hopefully she won't get involved in a wreck tomorrow. So there you go. She blew a piston on that 12. Ironically, she's top 10 in the points in both Oreo and Red Bull GT Series, but after today, she'll be outside the top 10 in the points. So Courtney Lynn will join the three boys that are out of the race: J Ard, Jackson Harrison, and Ricky Cervantes. I bet Ricky's probably disappointed as Trinity Lee's going to go to the lead. That's our first female driver out of the race, believe it or not. Tough break for Courtney Lynn. And she's already dropped the window net in her garage stall. Getting ready to undo the belts, getting ready to take the helmet off, get ready to climb out, head off to the showers. Tough break for her. She will definitely look forward to bounce back next week at Charlotte. Trinity Lee currently the leader, and of course these two continue to go side by side. Bradley Ream's going to start reeling these two in. If Murphy and Lee continue to go side by side, the two rookies, believe it or not. Bradley Ream comes into this oh wait, I'm on the Oreo Cup points. I need to be on Red Bull GT Series points, foils. I was on the wrong point system. And remember, unlike the Red Bull GT Series, the Oreo Cup Series have playoff implications. Keep that in mind. Bradley Ream came in this race 8th in the points table, so as things stand for him, he would look like to stay inside the top 10 in the points leaving today, heading into next week, so he would keep his championship hopes alive. While we are enjoying this battle for the lead, let's remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the DRL and the Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other distributes or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the DRL and the Blue Hedgehog TV is strictly prohibited. PCSRA, WRA, and DRL fans want to thank you for your support of the Red Bull GT Series, the Oreo Cup Series on the PCSRA Sports Engagement channel, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. as Bradley Reim is starting to reel in. A couple of good runs for Henrietta Fitzwater. Same with Kyler Anderson, Sebastian Palmer running in the top 5. We're going to have 6 laps of racing to go here in the Red Bull GT Series race. Next time by will be 5 laps of racing to go. Excuse me. Nathan Murphy in the 2. Glad that he signed up for the series. In fact, I'm glad everybody that signed up that didn't cause any issues, which I'm happy. Bradley Reim, more than likely Bradley Reim's going to be back in this car next year because this is probably his car. Because every time I do signups, he signs up for the 21. So I thought, okay, Bradley Reim probably likes Harley Davidson, so I'm going to reserve him that ride because why not? There's good run for Josh Harmon. After the prep talk he got from his team owner, Skylar Taylor, from what happened at Homestead last time out in the Oreo Cup Series. Great run for Reagan Whitlock, making his return to this channel. He's only running the final 7 races of this season, and it's going to be borderline whether or not he would be eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors next season. We'll have to wait and see about that. If you guys enjoy all of these NR races that I do on this channel and also enjoying this race, make sure you guys give it a like. Make sure you guys subscribe so you do not miss the next NR race that we got coming up on the schedule, including the rest of the Oreo Cup Series. And we also got the Craftsman Truck Series Busch and Winston Cup races coming up later on this season, which those races were already recorded in advance by me. Bradley Reim has really caught up, so it looks like it's going to be a 3-driver fight for this win. Zachary Fitzwater has taken his car back behind the wall with a blown tire. Zachary Fitzwater was 10th in the points, so he's going to take a hit in the standings. So I can tell you we're going to be in for another point shakeup heading into next week at Charlotte. And I got somebody else that's also in the booth with me, which is Bucky Jr., which this year will be our first full year together. Not only with Bucky Jr., but also Big Bucky, but they're not talking right now because they're too busy enjoying this race up here in the booth with me. We're down to 2 laps to go. Next time by will be the white flag. Are there any lap cars in front? Kyle Langland, but I don't think he'll be a factor to decipher this win. And remember, Kyle Langland is only 1 lap down. We only have 36 drivers on the lead lap, 37 still in this race, and then the 5 drivers that are back behind the wall. As we're going to come to the white flag, 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank here for the for the Red Bull GT Series race. Looking forward to the Oreo Cup race tomorrow is what I was going to say. Does Trinity Lee have anything for the GMAC Chevy Corvette? Down the back straightaway for the final time, Nathan Murphy. Can he hold off Trinity Lee? That's going to be something. Of course, he ran a little bit high there. Does Trinity have one? She's got one more chance to get around Nathan Murphy. I don't think it's going to be enough. Off of turn 3 for the final time today, Nathan Murphy is going to pick up his second DRL Red Bull GT Series win of his career, his second win of the year, as he wins here at the Pocono Raceway. And a fun battle with Trinity Lee. Bradley Reim just ran out of time, probably ran out of tires trying to catch these two. And Nathan Murphy will go to victory lane here at Pocono Raceway. Nathan Murphy was 22nd in the points. This will no doubt put him inside the top 20 in points. And of course, he takes the Rookie of the Race honors. Still a good run for Trinity Lee, despite coming up 0.2 of a second short, as the standings are now official. But this will help her move her way through the points table leaving today. Bradley Reim will get 3rd. Great run for Bradley Reim. Some confidence boost that will help him going into the Oreo Cup race here tomorrow. Henrietta Fitzwater comes home in 4th. Zachary Fitzwater finished out of the race. Henrietta Fitzwater came into this race 19th in the points, so she will skyrocket through the points table. Heading into next week's race, Sebastian Palmer will come away with a top 5 after finishing in 5th. Palmer came this race 12th in points, and with drivers ahead of him in points that had troubles today, this will put him in the top 10 in the points leaving today. Kyler Anderson 2nd in points, 6th. He will take the points lead heading into next week at Charlotte, because the gal he was trying to run down for the points lead had a bad race. That would be Tatiana Noguera. We'll see where she finished up in this race. Josh Harmon comes away with 7th. Josh Harmon 28th in the points. This will put him up through the points table. Great run for Elena Aurora, the rookie points leader, in 8th. Elena Aurora will keep the rookie points lead heading into next week. Looks like the guy who was trying to run her down for the rookie points lead finished in 18th. That would be Carlos Rodriguez. Let's see. Cody Goforth gets 9th and Reagan Whitlock 10th. So the 2 debut drivers having good runs. Goforth and Whitlock. Good job of those drivers. Gage Racing, Chaz Farmer, Kasumi Takashi, Ari Springer, and Jesse Art will complete your top 15. You look on down for the remainder of the finishing results. A lot of drivers came in running well in points. Really going to take some major hits in the standings. Tatiana Noguera, 33rd, came this race as the points leader. Will not be the points leader leaving today. Zachary Fitzwater, 10th in points, out of the race with Courtney Lynn, Sean Art, Jackson Harrison, Ricky Cervantes, as a result of our 2 cautions that we've had here today. 36 drivers finished on the lead lap. That would be Isaac Willis, who was the last of those drivers on the lead lap. Kyle Langland was the only driver 1 lap down. And then, as I mentioned, the 5 drivers already out of the race. We've already documented here. So I can tell you the points are going to get really shaken up here today, after a lot of drivers who came in running well in points had troubles today, including about to be soon to be former points leader Tatiana Noguera. But congratulations to Nathan Murphy on the win here today at the amazing Pocono Raceway. And tomorrow is going to be fun with the Oreo Cup Series drivers, and a couple of them like Bradley Reim, Zachary Fitzwater, Jesse Art, Samad Oskin, just to name a few that took part in this race. What did they learn today that's going to help them in the Oreo Cup race tomorrow? We're going to have to find that out. But thank you all for joining me for today's Red Bull GT Series race here on Pocono. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Ray and WRA crew. Today, we've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Be sure to join the DRL Discord and the WRA Discords. The links will be down in the description below. And we will see you tomorrow for the Oreo Cup Series race here at Pocono Raceway. Until then, I've been D signing off. So long from the Tricky Triangle. Thank you for watching another broadcast of the DRL Red Bull GT Series on the PCS Race Sports and Gaming channel, celebrating 15 amazing years as the best NO racing around the world since 2017. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Oreo Cup Series race.